दोस्तों let's check the latest news update with Vishal.
Hello and welcome to Friends World TV. I'm your host, Vishal Venkatesh. Thank you for joining the weekly English news bulletin today. Here are the headlines. South Australia records just one new COVID-19 case, but the cluster is still very dangerous. A mother has been arrested over a stabbing of her son in Sydney's Bellevue Hill. Passengers landing at Melbourne Airport will be able to take trains to the heart of the CBD every 10 minutes once the Melbourne Airport rail link is completed in 2029, the Victorian and federal governments say. Kohls shuts down major Sydney warehouse as hundreds of Smeaton Grange workers strike over redundancy conditions. Children allegedly steal liquor and 4 WD before a highway police chase. Anthony Albanese dismisses another anonymous letter alleging toxic culture within the parameters of his office. And more than $1 million in cash and 3 luxury cars have been seized during a raid in Perth as part of a federal investigation into an alleged drug trafficking racket. And BBC appoints former judge to lead inquiry into the Princess Diana interview. India becomes the second country behind the United States to cross 9 million coronavirus infections. And the big tech company Apple reaches a $150 million settlement with US states on iPhone throttling. Microplastics have been discovered near the peak of Mount Everest. Indian rescuers pull an elephant out of a well using a crane in a long 12-hour operation. But first, let's get to the South Australian COVID-19 update. South Australian Premier Stephen Marshall says there have been no cases of community transmission from Adelaide's COVID-19 outbreak, and that all known cases so far have been traced to close contacts. One new COVID-19 case has been recorded in South Australia, and police have identified the men who lied to the contact tracers. The SA Health has been unable to get in touch with 40 close contacts of this particular cluster. A woman has been arrested after her son was stabbed at Bellevue Hill in Sydney's east just this morning. Emergency services were called to a house on Drummerlin Road just before 2 a.m. following reports a man had been stabbed. A 22-year-old man was treated at the scene by paramedics before being taken to St. Vincent's Hospital in a serious condition. He had suffered wounds to his back, right shoulder, and left forearm, according to a New South Wales ambulance spokesperson. Officers from the Eastern Suburbs Police Area Command attended and commenced an investigation into the circumstances surrounding the incident. A 55-year-old woman was arrested at the scene and was taken to Waverley Police Station shortly for questioning. A spokesperson for St. Vincent's Hospital said that the man was in a stable condition. Passengers landing at Melbourne Airport will be able to take trains to the heart of the CBD every 10 minutes once the Melbourne Airport rail link is completed in 2029, according to the Victorian and federal governments. Passengers along the Cranbourne and Pakenham lines will be able to ride to the airport without changing trains, and exchange at Sunshine and connect with Geelong passengers in an hour, Ballarat in 90 minutes, and Bendigo in 2 hours. The travel time between Turralagone and Melbourne Airport is estimated to be under 3 hours. Kohls has temporarily shut down one of its major Sydney warehouses after hundreds of its workers went on a strike over pay and conditions. More than 350 workers are employed at the Smeaton Grange Distribution Centre, which will now be closed for a period of 3 months. It is one of the largest such facilities in the state of New South Wales. The strike began after union negotiations broke down over the new enterprise agreement regarding wage increases and redundancy clauses. The United Workers Union UWU director, Matt Toner, said that the workers were striking for job security as the facility moved towards automation by 2023. 5 children are accused of stealing alcohol, then a car, and then trying to outrun police up the M1 motorway between Logan and Brisbane. The group of boys and girls, aged between 12 and 14, allegedly stole a large amount of liquor from a bottle shop in the Brisbane suburb of Sherwood at about 5:30 p.m. just last Friday. The police helicopter spotted them and began tracking the Toyota Land Cruiser. A tire deflation device punctured the car's tires. However, the 14-year-old boy who was allegedly behind the wheel continued to drive dangerously on the rims of the car. A dossier alleging a bullying, toxic culture within Anthony Albanese's office has been rejected as fake by the Labour leader, insisting he leads an outstanding team. The anonymous letter, purportedly the work of 5 staffers who work for other Labour MPs, was posted online on Monday evening, alleging a destructive and also intimidating culture in Mr. Albanese's office. The letter, which disappeared late Monday only to reappear on Tuesday on a different website, was widely distributed amongst Labour staffers, parliamentarians, and also a number of journalists. We are aware that at least one foreign embassy saw it online, and internal tensions have bubbled up over recent weeks, with Mr. Albanese's policy direction and leadership coming under close scrutiny and also political fire. More than $1 million in cash and 3 luxury cars have been seized during a raid in Perth as part of a federal investigation into an alleged drug trafficking racket. 3 people have been arrested in regards to this, and last Tuesday, officers from the AFP and Australian Border Force searched homes in Mount Pleasant, South Perth, Waterford, and Shelley. They seized bundles of cash, some in vacuum-sealed bags, cannabis, steroids, electronic items, and financial documents, along with the Bentley and 2 Mercedes-Benz cars, which are worth more than $100,000 each. A 37-year-old Mount Pleasant man, a 29-year-old Waterford woman, and a 32-year-old South Perth man have been charged with possessing money and property suspected to be the proceeds of this particular crime. The BBC has appointed a former senior judge to head an inquiry into how the broadcaster secured a famous 1995 interview with the late Princess Diana after accusations from her brother that she had been tricked into taking part. Princess Diana's brother Charles Spencer says he was duped into introducing her to Martin Bashir, and during the controversial interview, Diana admitted to an affair and the details of a failed marriage to Prince Charles. The BBC previously apologized for fake documents, claiming to show Diana's aides were betraying her. India has crossed the grim milestone of 9 million coronavirus cases, with 45,882 new infections recorded just within the last 24 hours, according to the Health Ministry. India is the only second country to cross 9 million COVID-19 infections after the United States, but cases have slowed down in the country after hitting a peak just last September. Deaths rose by 584, with the total now at 132,162. Government officials and experts have warned that the country could still see a spike after the festival of Diwali was celebrated earlier this month. Nevertheless, the country's new daily cases have seen a steady decline for weeks now, and the total number of cases represents 0.6% of Indians' 1.3 billion population. Apple will pay $113 million of US dollars to settle allegations from 33 US states and the District of Columbia in particular that has slowed down iPhones to mask battery issues and get users to purchase new devices, according to the state officials. US states contested Apple acted deceptively and should have replaced batteries. Millions of users were affected by the power shutoffs, according to the court filings, and Apple denied the wrongdoing but agreed to provide truthful information on power management. The once pristine mountain environment of Mount Everest is now unfortunately littered with everything from oxygen canisters to the bodies of climbers, and of course, microplastics. Researchers found microplastics at the 19 sites sampled on Mount Everest. This is the highest altitude of microplastics that has ever been discovered at the site, and the source is believed to be from climbers. However, the atmospheric transfer cannot be ruled out. Scientists studying plastic pollution on Mount Everest have discovered microplastics as high as 8,440 meters up the mountain, which is just 400 meters below the peak. And forest officials in India's southern state, Tamil Nadu, have worked for more than 12 hours to pull a struggling elephant from a well using a crane. The elephant, which strayed into the village bordering a forest in Tamil Nadu's Dayampuri district, fell into a well that was covered with bushes and did not have a fence or wall around it, according to Raj Kumar, the district forest officer. 2 other elephants have fallen into such wells in the past year in that particular area. And the destruction of forests, rapid urbanization, and rising village populations have led the animals to venture close to the human settlements in India. That's all the news for this week. Stay tuned to Friendsworld TV for more news around the clock 24/7. I'll see you next week. This is Vishal reporting.